Check 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need. Get over the fear and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hey everybody, Michael Quarles with podcast number 142. 5 questions sent in by real estate investors, and I'm going to try my best to answer them. And remember, if you have a question, send it to support@bsffacademy.com. One more time, support@bsffacademy.com. Here we go. Question number 1. What is your opinion on bandit signs? Well, I have a lot of an opinion on bandit signs, but I am changing it a little bit because Yellow Letters, a company that I favor a lot, is going to start producing bandit signs for those folks that like bandit signs and want to utilize them, and we're going to sell them at a ridiculously low price because we really don't have to sell bandit signs over at Yellow Letters because we sell direct mail. So bringing in the equipment to do the bandit signs seems reasonable and cost effective for everybody. We're going to start selling them. So my old opinion on bandit signs is that why should you do anything that's illegal? The bandit signs that I used to use in the old days were billboards at about, I think the smallest one cost me like $425. The largest one cost me $2,500 a month. Yes, I said $2,500 a month. And those were legal bandit signs. My van is a bandit sign in a sense because it's all wrapped with says I buy houses on it. So I believe in legal things, not illegal things. I get frustrated personally that I spend thousands upon thousands of dollars in my local marketplace marketing, and I see these little bandit signs that says I want to buy houses. But I also believe that everybody has the right to do what they want to do as long as they're not interfering with anybody else's rights to do what they want to do. And it's not my job to enforce the law of bandit signs. So although it's frustrating that people are doing what they're doing, I let it go because at the end of the day, that little bit of frustration is not going to hurt me. The big thing about bandit signs, if you really wanted to use them and utilize them legally, just run for office. Just say, vote for Michael for mayor. Michael, and then in parentheses, put I buy houses for mayor with the phone number. And you'll probably be on the news a couple times because people will think that's kind of funny. And it's perfectly legal, by the way. You spend the money on the filing fee to run for mayor or whatever local political office you want to run for. Because in the wisdom of politicians, they decided that political bandit signs are okay. But no one else can use them in business. But they can sure use them for to be elected. So go figure that one. But if I was going to do it, that's how I do it. Question number 2. Sellers have called to question why I refuse to negotiate properties when they are listed with a realtor. When my voicemail states they're going to work with a realtor. How do I explain this? Well, I use the same voicemail. I bought one house from a realtor. It was my very first piece of property ever in my life. When I was a wee little pup, just born kind of thing. I was still in diapers. That's how young I was. Well, not really still in diapers, but you guys get the idea. And although my voicemail says I work with realtors, I do. Every property that I sell, I list with a realtor to resell it. So I absolutely work with them. I'm just not going to work with them to buy a property because I don't think that the marketing dollar that they're charging me, the 5 or 6 or 7%, justifies working with them. So, if I bought a property for $100,000 and it's 5, 6, 7%, let's call it 6%. $100,000 times 6% is $6,000. If I took the same $6,000, put it in marketing, I'd buy a lot more property. The other issue I have with them is a listing agent who listed that property in the first place has convinced the seller to sell the property at 100%. We cannot buy it at 100%. We can only buy it at 70% or less. And so I have a hard time believing that that agent, whoever is going to present my offer to the seller, is going to do so in a way that causes the sellers to jump up and down and say, yes, I want to take their offer because when you told me I could make 100 cents on the dollar, you were wrong. I have a hard time believing that's going to happen. If it did happen, I would have to be at some place around 60% minus the 6 or 7 or 5% that they were charging. That would justify the means of me working with that real estate agent or that realtor. Highly unlikely. Very highly unlikely. You know, that question really isn't about what do I say to the realtor. That question is about why aren't you out there buying friggin' houses? My goodness. Again, the only house I've ever bought through a realtor, and keep in mind I'm a broker, I have access to the local multiple listing service. I have access to many multiple listing services in California. The only one I've ever bought was from somebody on my very first purchase. Many moons ago. Has it stopped me from buying houses? No. Why are you allowing it to stop you? Answer the objection and move on and buy some friggin' houses. That's what we do. We're real estate investors. We buy houses. Or we pretend to be real estate investors and don't buy a house. Either one of those, whatever you are, you raise your hand on which one you are, because I know who I am. I'm a guerrilla investor who buys a bucket load of houses, and all you have to do is do it too.
Thanks for listening to Buy, Sell, Fix, Flip. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through Yellow Letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
Question number 3. As much as I want to be an investor, I can only qualify for an FHA loan, and I'm using a grant for the first-time home buyers to pay down payment and assist on closing. What kind of things can I look for that I can fix myself and improve the value of the home, but the house will still qualify for FHA? It seems like FHA wants nearly perfect homes. Please don't use a loan to buy houses, especially an FHA loan. If you want to use a loan to buy houses, you're not a real estate investor, not the kind that we are. Go find yourself an agent. Let them show you a house. Get yourself is it a 203 FHA loan? Figure that one out. But if you want to be a real investor, someone who buys properties at a discount multiple times, you're not going to use an FHA loan. You're going to figure out sub-2 financing, seller financing, private money lending, those kinds of things, and you're going to buy houses. Who cares about FHA? Don't put your credit at risk. Don't put your livelihood at risk. You can only do it anyway a certain amount of times. It's like 14 times, and then you're done anyway. So what are you going to be, a 14-time investor? No. There's so many more ways to buy houses than borrowing FHA money or conventional money. Man, listen to some of these podcasts. It's not that difficult. I mean, it's probably not politically correct, but I'm certain I can teach Helen Keller how to buy houses. Question number 4. Has it ever been part of your business model to buy homes to rehab and flip? Absolutely has. Yuck. Used to love it, loved it, until I decided that I knew everything about Home Depot. I could walk into Home Depot, people could ask me where the parts are, and I could tell them. At that moment, when everybody started saying my name, hello, Michael, good morning, I realized I was at Home Depot too many times. I realized that I didn't have to rehab houses, because there are other people that wanted to be like me who wanted to go to Home Depot and learn where all the parts are and have their name called out to them when they walked in the door. I realized that there are folks like that, so I just sell them the house that needs to be rehabbed and let them rehab it. Don't go to Home Depot. Shame on you if you ever want to be a rehab and flipper. The only time you want to be a rehab and flipper that way is when you can see the upside. The upside is so great. But when is that going to happen? If you look at the model of what an as-is value is from an ARV value, it's really simple. If the repair costs, so it's an ARV is 200 grand, it's going to cost 15 grand to rehab it to make it worth 200 grand. That means you multiply the 15 times 2, that's 30, subtract it from the 200, that means the as-is value is 170. So buy it at 170 at 60% of that value and sell it at 170. Let someone else put 15,000 into it, make another 15,000 and be on their way. And by the way, $15,000 in a rehab is a lot of money. It's friggin' a lot of money. A lot of money. You almost have to go down to studs to get 15 grand in a house. I built a house once for $16,000. Well, a little bit over, like $16,500. The whole thing, concrete, walls, toilets, sinks, roof, insulation, painting, cabinets, the whole thing. I know what I'm talking about. Question number 5. Rehabbing and flipping is obviously more work than wholetailing. But which one can an investor make most money? If you really want to know the answer to that question, you don't understand wholetailing. Wholetailing is selling a commodity. The house is a commodity. Rehabbing and flipping is taking a house and turning it into a different type of house. How many of those can you do by the time, and how many wholetailing houses can I do in the same amount of time? So if it takes you 6 to 8 to 9 to 10, 12 weeks to rehab a house, to flip it, to turn it into your palace that you think you want to create, a house that you live in that is overvalued now because you put too much stuff into it in the first place. While you're doing all that, how many houses can I buy and sell without having to go to Home Depot, without having the investment, without having the risk, without having any of the concern if I'm doing it right or wrong or indifferent? Man, as soon as you pick out the wrong color carpet that you love, the carpet that you think is just the most beautiful color carpet in the world, and your buyer goes in there and goes, "Oh my goodness gracious, I hate it," and they back out, what are you going to do then? Get another buyer, change the carpet, what? When did we go to remodeling school? When did we go to decorator school? When did we go to, all those things that make us think that we're the person that should be doing the rehabbing stuff? That's for contractors. If you want to be a contractor, get a contractor's license. I understand that, but if you want to be an investor, buy a house and sell it. Buy a house at as-is value, at a percentage of as-is value, and sell it at 100% of as-is value. That's what an investor does. Well, investors also wholesale, which is, I don't get that at all. They rent, yuck, but I'm starting to understand that one because I have some rentals now. And they rehab. I don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. Here's another thing I don't get. I don't get to sell anybody my Alex systems. I decided last night in the wee mornings of the morning, or the wee night hours of the evening, that I wasn't going to sell it. For a moment there, I was going to let folks use the Alex system that allows me to buy a house or more a day. And I decided not to. So I apologize for putting that up on the site and saying that it was going to be available and then taking it back down, but I've decided I'm not going to. So until tomorrow, talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.